You won't make it. You need to work twice as hard. We get sexually harassed on the scene. A man has more authority in society compared to women. Messages women in the workplace hear far too often. Many women serving in the public sector refuse to leave their male-dominated professions because they are committed to serving their communities.
I was working in the CBD. I was working from Fairview Fire Station. I worked there for 5 years. I had fantastic crews, and I went out to a call. It was sort of change of shift. It was 1 May, so it was quite cold. And I stepped out to that famous building called Cape York Building that burnt down where those 7 people died. And it's a notorious building. And the ambulance was on its way, and I parked the response car outside, and this very bedraggled young guy came up to me and said to me, "Please help me, my friend is dying." And I told him, you know, the ambulance is coming. And you look a bit odd sitting in your response car waiting. And he begged me, he said, please, mummy, my friend is dying, come see. He's just here. So I thought, well, the ambulance is on its way. It's right there at the entrance. I have been in this building before by myself during the day. So I went in, and it was a stupid move. I know that. But your heart, you know, my friend is dying. And inside you have this very strong instinct to want to help and save people. And so I went into the building, and I don't quite remember all the details, but I remember him pushing me up against the wall, and I remember his breath. I remember the whites of his eyes. A bit harder than I thought.
Take your time.
And then he said some obscene things to me, which I'd rather not repeat. And the next thing I remember, I was tasering him, but I don't actually remember getting the taser. I think it was an instinct thing. And in the corner of my right eye, I could see my flashing lights. There was a doorway there, and a very narrow one, but there was a doorway there, and I could see my flashing lights. So I knew which direction, because it was very dark in there. And I tasered him, and I dropped the taser, because when I went back I didn't have it with me, and it was a gift from family. And I went, I tasered him, and then I managed to run out the door. It just gave me a few seconds, so I ran out the door.
I have to prove myself that I can go double, an extra mile. To them, it's a usual thing, like the units, they'll tell you for training. I remember before I could go to Sudan, my commander just laughed at me and said, "Ha, then, you know, I looked, then you have that thing that says, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And I went for hard training. I said, no matter how is the place there, I will prove it that I can make it as a female there in a male-dominant world, whereby it was not easy, as people would think that maybe when people deploy, they go for money or dollars. The situation there, it's quite not like that. Yes, I was still in public order policing. Then we went to KwaZulu-Natal. I was still in Unit 19 in Pretoria. When we were in KwaZulu-Natal, I thought we were going to come back earlier than I thought. It was going to be just a 2 months deployment. But when we were there, because of the disputes of these organizations around and the violence that erupted, then our term was extended. Then I reported the matter to my immediate commander. I was still a captain that time, to my immediate commander. Then he felt that he wouldn't work with a pregnant female whereby I felt it was not a disease and the stomach was not showing yet. But when it started showing, I started borrowing bigger trousers and from my male counterparts, wearing it. And they felt that if I go as their commander, they'll also pack and go. And the support that I got from them, it was quite stunning. I was so impressed. So sometimes we are taken that we must be placed somewhere because of certain conditions. And it's not always like that. Some other people, if ever they are operational, they are operational. It is very tough. It is very tough as a female. Because even when you come to the lineup, they don't say you are a female, go at the back, or maybe we won't give a shotgun because of you are a female. You are just on the forefront like everyone else. So you just have to prove equally that it can be a man's world, but not without a woman.